Well, hello there and good day. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Dystopian Report, the place where we talk about the nightmare world we have found ourselves in. And sometimes we have Ariel the cat come up and soothe me and or interfere with my work. I'm your host, Jesse Pullman, and today we're going to be talking about the Trump administration's cutting grants some more. We're going to talk about how that has impacted Medicaid, or at least appears to have impacted Medicaid, and a term my wife invented called financial waterboarding. So, Ariella Wheeler, I love you. This one's for you. Today is Tuesday, January 28th. It's about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, and yesterday we talked about Trump pulling funding from federal grants. Well, it got worse than that. See, according to numerous sources, including Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, we have here my staff has confirmed reports that Medicaid portals are down in all 50 states following last night's federal funding freeze. This is a blatant attempt to rip away health care from millions of Americans overnight and will get people killed. I did a quick look. Apparently in 2022, there were roughly 90 million people that use Medicaid. Now, that's gone down since pandemic stuff has worn off. But I've heard that Hakeem Jeffries wants to hold a meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow would be Wednesday, so that's a little late for a crisis like this. If Medicaid in all 50 states is down, you might hold that meeting, immediately. You call everyone and tell them to get in. But Leah Greenberg of the group known as Indivisible, you may have heard of them. They're pretty big. I'd like to hear more from them, actually. Points out that Democrats can. These are things Democrats can do, at least according to her. 1, oppose all Trump nominees until EOs are withdrawn. EOs being executive orders. Pretty simple. Don't nominate anyone for any reason. Any reason. Deny unanimous consent to slow Senate proceedings. Basically, just throw a wrench in it. I mean, if they're going to call us obstructionists anyway, or I say us, I used to be a Democrat. If they're going to, call people on the left us obstructionists, let's obstruct. Vote no on all cloture. I can't even remember what cloture means at this moment. I think that's the vote to end debate as part of the filibuster, but I'm not 100% sure, and I frankly don't have time to look it up because I have stuff to do today. And to force quorum calls at every chance. In other words, if there aren't enough people to have a vote, you can't have a vote. She points out, this is a constitutional crisis. There's absolutely no reason the Senate should be connecting business as usual. I think she meant conducting. Now, I do want to point out the latest, according to Yahoo News, for the Canadian press. Again, we're getting news from Canada. This is great. The latest, federal judge temporarily blocks federal funding freeze. This popped up like 20 minutes ago. Federal judge temporarily blocked a Trump administration freeze on federal grants. Cool. Okay. You get the idea, right? This is like a fight. So I want to talk a little bit about the concept of financial waterboarding, since that is the thing that pulled this video together. My wife pointed out that college classes started up right around now, right? My alma mater, Adelphi University, started back up on the 23rd. People are still going through paying for their classes. Grants pay for classes, like Pell Grants. If those grant payments don't go through, that jeopardizes their enrollment. And you have to remember, thinking back, who are some of the people most likely to be opposed to Trump and his policies? College students. College students do a lot of the protesting and organizing of on-the-ground stuff. So you suffocate them, or more appropriately, as my wife points out, you waterboard them. See, waterboarding is that torture that we said wasn't torture back in the Bush administration. Do you remember that? Maybe you're too young to remember that. Maybe you're so old you don't remember that. It's cool. The Bush administration would basically drown somebody, but it wouldn't actually drown them. It would just make their brains think they were drowning by pouring water down their throat, but with a bag, so that didn't actually risk drowning them. But it was messed up. And you would put them almost to the point of their bodies collapsing and shutting down before you would stop pouring water down them, let them recover, and then give them a chance to talk so that they could, spill their secrets, which oftentimes were just made up to get them out of trouble, because torture doesn't work. But this is the financial equivalent of waterboarding, right? I'm going to take your money away. Now, a court can come in and order them to put the money back, but will they listen? I mean, technically that money was appropriated by Congress to be spent by the administration. The administration said we're not spending any of it, so already that's a violation of the Constitution because Congress ordained that money to be spent a certain way. The fact that a judge has now come in and said they have to do that means, A, can the judge compel the administration to do that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the administration will just pull an Andrew Jackson and say, the court made its ruling, now let them enforce it. Oh, wait, they have no enforcement mechanism. It's almost like maybe Biden should have done that once or twice. Just a thought. But at any rate, hey, look, here we are, right? We are in a situation where the Trump administration, within a week and a half now, we're not even a week, we're really like a week and a half into it, getting there. We're more towards a half than a week. I don't know how to measure time anymore. It's weird. And the Trump administration has basically screwed Medicaid over. I've been on Medicaid. Many people have at some point in their life or another been on Medicaid or are still on Medicaid. Medicaid is the program for the people who don't have means. Medicare and Social Security are, as far as we know, still up and running. But those checks, a lot of them don't go out until the 1st. And who knows what's going to be spent on the 1st? Nobody does. So we'll see what happens then. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you found this video useful, the number one thing you can do to support this channel is subscribe. I found that if you subscribe, you'll get more of them. And then you can share it around. The second biggest thing you can do to support this channel is share this video. If you got it, if you found it some way useful, share it. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. I'll show you the cat real quick. She's being a little kitten. With her little whippy tail. Oh, you can see off to the side. I need a bigger green screen. Anyway, thank you all for joining me, and as always on this channel, pieces.